What up YouTube, my name is Radiantxela and I'm here with the first in a series of Star Wars Destiny card videos in which I do profiles on single cards. I'm going to be calling this the good, the bad and the forgotten. So for the first episode I will take a look at, in my opinion, a forgotten card for the heroes in Star Wars Destiny, which is, as you can see laid before you, Natural Talent. It is a one cost event that says resolve one of your dice, increasing its value by 1. So what I like about this card is it's one cost, which means that it can be played alongside an upgrade during most turns, as most turns, in my experience, will lead up to you having free resources in your pool. The second good part of this is that it says resolve one of your dice, meaning that it allows you to play a card from your hand, ridding you of a card in your hand, meaning that you can go for the claim faster, and it resolves one of your dice, taking another action away. So actually what this does to me is that it gives you a ambush action hidden within it, granting you more speed, and the fact that it improves the die that it is played on is just ridiculously good to me. So I think this is a very undervalued card in the current meta, and that actually the undervaluing of cards like this could be why the heroes are currently so low in the hierarchy. So for this series I will also be displaying some cards, both upgrades, anything I can find really that works well with the card in play. So I'm going to go over 3 characters and why I think they're great with Natural Talent. You want to pair a Natural Talent red guy with Finn because of his very variable die. It has no modified sides and only one blank, meaning that whatever you pop up with Finn, you get something good. Also, with Finn, you get access to, and I'll get to that when I get to supports and upgrades, but you will get access to more cards that are effectively very powerful along with Natural Talent. So, when playing Natural Talent of Finn, you will of course want to hit the 2 ranged with it, buffing up to 3 damage, or the 1 resource, meaning that you actually gain a resource with Natural Talent, making it a stand-in for logistics in this deck as well, or in this combination as well actually. So this is why I think it goes well with him. I would also recommend for the red character Admiral Akbar. So why him? He has a 2 focus, meaning that you can pay 1 and gain 3 focus sites. That is ridiculous. He also has a double resource, not a double, but he has 2 resource sites, meaning that you have double the chance of, with most regular characters, to gain those 2 resources in 1 turn, allowing you to play more expensive cards from your hand, which I just think is great. The discard is also one of my favorites to use with Natural Talent, because discard 1, it's okay of course, but discard 2 for the price of 1 is ridiculously good, especially because unlike with Probe on the villains, it has to be a specific type of card, but this is just take away 2 of your opponent's options permanently. So great with Natural Talent is the discard. And I will be showing you more discards. So the last character recommended with Natural Talent is the Padawan. Again, we have the same thing as with Finn and Akbar. She has no modified dice, meaning that whatever she rolls, Natural Talent comes natural to her. She does have a 2 melee, so like with Finn, she can do a lot of damage using this card. She also has a focus like Akbar. This one is only at 1, but it becomes a 2 with Natural Talent, meaning that you could potentially, using a jetpacking Finn, warp into 5 damage with this card, and that would just be great for you. So, and she does have a resource as well, which is maybe only at 1, but still, she has a lot of chances to do damage and do more than regular damage with Natural Talent. So, yeah. Oh, and for the combination, I think you could actually go Elite Akbar, double Padawan, and have a pretty good deck based around the fact that you want to make Natural Talent work. So for the upgrades, I will be displaying Diplomatic Immunity. It is a yellow 4 cost upgrade, and again, no modified sides and no blank. This is probably the best requirement for Natural Talent, that the die is workable. So why is this especially great? Because to me this is actually might be the best upgrade with natural talent in the game. Because of its ability, the shields from this die can be given to any character distributed as you wish. So even if you buff up the 2 die, you get 3 shields instead, meaning that you can split them off. If you already have one on one of your characters, you can just take the other 2 that you get and split in. This natural talent with diplomatic immunity makes for a very defensive play and could be what costs your opponents up. Also, it has a 2 disrupt, and when you're lucky enough to land that, and I say lucky because you want to land that with natural talent, you take away 3 resources, making it like, oh god, if your opponent are playing Hyperloop, this is how you want to troll them. You want to take away those resources, and you can do that using natural talent with the disrupts. So yeah, that's great. Also, the 2 focus, again, I explained this with Akbar and won't have to again hopefully, but pay 1, take control of 3 dice, oh my god, that is great. Next card on the list is a all-time neutral classic, the Mind Probe. So this does have actually a few minuses, and I wasn't sure if I wanted to put this in here because it actually has 3 sides that you can't use with natural talent, which is really sad, double special and blank. And also, if you want to buff the damage, you'll have to pay for the damage as well, meaning that you have to pay 2, but you do get 4 damage, and that can actually be what you want during that turn. 4 damage is quite a lot, especially in a meta where Balatik is starting to shine through. That's half of his health, and I think during some turns you might actually be willing to pay those 2 damage to take away half of his health. What I'm noticing here especially, and this is probably the main reason why Mind Probe is on this list in pairing with natural talent, is the 2 discard side. So pay 1, discard 3 is ridiculous. We just had this with, which one was it? With one of the other cards. Pay 1, discard 2 is fantastic. Pay 1, discard 3 is insane. That's more than half of their hand. You're taking away more than half a turn and a lot of rerolls pairing natural talent with Mind Probe if you can manage to get the discard. And hopefully you can. So another favorite of mine with natural talent is Cunning. It has 2 sides that can't be affected, which is pretty sad. It's an upgrade for 2, and what makes this great to me is that it has both the focus, the disrupt, and the discard. That is so great. These are the 3 best sides for natural talent, in my opinion, because it can set you up for more damage than it can if you simply improve a damage die with it, meaning that you get everything you want from one upgrade. Pairing this with natural talent, it's so good. I might even be willing to say that this is better than diplomatic immunity, although it doesn't have the same kind of defensive probabilities. This is what you want when you're going offensive with natural talent, like tap into your damage if you're running Pofin, tap into disrupt and discard if you're running like a Pat Mill deck, the classic play for Cunning Heroes, I believe. And so you really get everything you want out of Cunning with natural talent. For the weapons, because there are going to be weapons, a DL44 Heavy Blaster is what you really like. It has the same problem as Mind Probe, with 3 sides being unaffected by natural talent, and it also has the same problem about paying 1 for 4. But this is good because it has a resource, which is what you could like that is the, aside from damage, perhaps the lowest you want, but it's still pretty decent. Or shields at 1 is what you definitely don't want with this, with natural talent. But the free damage, pay 1 for 4, is actually pretty good. You do that regularly with the flamethrower in the Django Grievous deck, so allowing you to do that with natural talent DL44, yeah, that's actually pretty decent. What I don't like here is, of course, the only 50% applicability, but it could still prove into a good combo with this. The next one is sort of funny, because I'll actually bring out all of these 3 at once, because they have the same reason for being on this list. They are supports that interact well with natural talent. And why is the TIE Fighter here? Well, that is of course because I paired it with Finn, of course, in the beginning of this video. And through Finn, you get access to the TIE Fighter, which is insanely good actually with natural talent. Same as Black One, same as Millennium Falcon. I can't help but wonder if it was intentional that they put Podameron on the card art for Natural Talent, and that it interacts so well with every vehicle available to the Pofin deck. So why is this great? They all have Disrupt. Yes, check that, aside from the Millennium Falcon, which has the free discard instead. So, as I said earlier, a 1 for free discard is great. A 1 for 4 discard is taking away a turn. It's the same as with the Hyperloop almost, aside from the fact that your opponent will get to roll. They will have lost so much if you during your second turn take away what's left of their hand. Because they're not going to see the Natural Talent on the 4 discard coming. Or you can gain free resources. You wouldn't mind that. You can get 5 damage. With the black one, you can get free shields. That's pretty decent. You can get the 2 disrupt as with the TIE Fighter. And in total, this have 5 out of 18 sides that aren't affected. So that's less than 1/3 of the sides that aren't affected by Natural Talent, which is so great. So if you pair Natural Talent, you could go into pairing for a vehicle deck. But as I've shown with the other cards, you could also go into other types of decks, leaving more space for originality. Also, these cards in general work well together, again with Podameron, so pairing Natural Talent with Podameron could also be a natural choice, although his die actually isn't that great with the Natural Talent. So this was my first The Good, the Bad and the Forgotten video. This was for Natural Talent, a hero event. I hope you enjoyed this video, and I will see you guys next time.